And last but not least, from Bella Italia, Alessandro Mancini. His talk is about the golden section.
So I would like to start this talk with a question. Is beauty a subjective concept? It is. Of course it is. Anyone has the right to determine what beauty means for himself. But it might be important to realize that there are some math rules that allows us to determine beauty in the things we use daily. One of these rules is the golden section, which is something that is intrinsic in everyone's life, even though we know nothing about it. But after today's speech, you will be able to understand what the golden section is and how it is related to our life and culture. To explain this, I need to go back to Euclid, the first person that ever defined it. It's a pretty scientific and mathematical concept, but I really hope I will make it clear for everyone. He basically divided a straight line in two parts and said that the length of the entire segment, so A plus B, is to A as the length of A is to B. These are the proportions that make the famous golden ratio. This ratio has its proper Greek letter that defines it. The letter is phi, and its value is an unlimited decimal number close to 1.6180 and so on. This number is also found in the Fibonacci sequence, the most famous sequence of numbers, which basically takes two integers starting from 1 and 1, sums them up, and continues to do so, summing the product of the first operation with the previous number and so on. So for instance, we get that 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on. So what is the relationship between phi and the Fibonacci sequence then? Well, if we take any number of the sequence and we divide it with its previous one, we get a result that is really close to our golden ratio. The important part here is the bigger the numbers we choose are, the closer we get to our golden ratio. The Fibonacci sequence numbers are used to describe the so-called logarithmic spiral or golden spiral, which is a pretty strange shape, we could say, but you have for sure seen this one, from the smallest things, like seashells, for example, to the biggest one, like hurricanes or even entire galaxies. So nature really relies, and it's basically made out of this number. Next we have art. It's made by this number. This is the Athens Parthenon that was built by Phidia, a Greek architect. He was the first that, without knowing it, used it to build this beautiful Greek Parthenon. The letter phi that we use to describe the number is, of course, in his honor. Then we get that Euclid formalized it, as we said before, but it was Leonardo da Vinci that first related this number both with his studies and his art. And this is probably the most well-known example of the relationship within the golden section and Leonardo da Vinci's pictures. That's the Mona Lisa. That's probably the most well-known out there from him. And you can see that it has a lot of mysteries, a lot of secrets. And one of them is actually the golden section. Have you ever looked at it from this more mathematical perspective? Have you ever wondered why are these paintings so famous and considered masterpieces? Well, now you know. Some math under the hood is making them appealing and good-looking. Not only is art made better thanks to the golden section, but also the human body in general. As Leonardo described in his Vitruvian Man, the one you are seeing here, our body is entirely made following these proportions. He was the first person that related the human body, a square, and a circle. Now, let's do an experiment. Take whatever part of the body you can think about and put it in a relationship with a nearby part. For example, top of the head and the chin, and distance between chin to the bottom of the neck. And you will see that these dimensions, these two segments, are the ones that compose the golden section. Another one, the distance between nose to mouth and mouth to chin, are again described by the golden section. So we are completely made by this number, not only ourselves, but also our daily basis. The products we buy, the things we use daily, the logos of the companies, the cities we live in, are all made more inviting, more appealing, thanks to the golden section. Take Google's logo, for example, and notice how the height of the two Gs is not random. Have you ever wondered, how are people defining these dimensions? It is all pure and simple, yet so fascinating math. Now let's do another experiment. Take your ID card or your credit card and try to imagine on it the logarithmic spiral, the one we've seen before, and you will see that it actually fits. Chester has recently been elected the most beautiful city out there according to science. Why is that? Because the majority of its buildings align with the golden section. Next we have Rome, London, Belfast, Venice, and many other more cities here in Europe. So the next time you stop and reflect, the next time you take some space to meditate, remember that there are some things out there we are not really able to understand yet. But everything in the universe is pretty well defined. Nothing is left to chance, and math is what allows us to find the real beauty hidden in nature and in everyday's life. Thank you.